Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. I'm on episode 22, which is crazy. I've been posting these every single week, and I'm on episode 22. So it's 22 weeks of this podcast, which it really doesn't feel like it's been 22 weeks. But on this podcast, I talk a lot about health, wellness, and yoga as well. Basically, everything I absolutely love in life. I am a beautician, a masseuse, and a yoga teacher. So I like this podcast because my channel tends to be like my videos tend to be focused more on the yoga side. Whereas I like this podcast because I focus a little bit more on the wellness. So I get to bring that kind of beauty element, everything I sort of learn working in spas in college, everything like that. I get to bring that to the podcast. So it's like a little extra thing that I love to talk about. And lately, I have been seeing on TikTok, on Instagram, these little shorts done by influencers and these videos, and they're just starting to grate on me just a little bit. And here's why, because they're all captioned like budget friendly things you can do to level up your wellness, like look better for free. And they all start with good intentions. And it just gets to this point where like they then start pushing products on you. Um, and it like for me, it just completely like, it just isn't what they're trying to say the video is about. Now, if you're going to do a video like that and say, oh, here are 10 products that are worth the splurge, for example, or worth paying for, fair enough. That's a better title. But I just feel like if you're going to say like budget friendly or free ways to make your wellness better, or you've got to give the goods. Like if you're going to say it, you've got to deliver it. And it's annoying because for someone who doesn't have tons of money, it actually makes you feel a little bit rubbish about yourself because you're sitting there thinking, well, this is like basic. This is like someone on who's got a budget. And yet you get to the end of the video and I like add up all these different things. Like some of them are like, I'll give an example after I've done the intro of like some of the crazy ones that I've seen. But some of them, I just think like it starts off with such good intentions and then it ends up just like adding up. And some of them, like I listen to them and I'm like, that's hundreds of pounds. That is hundreds of pounds. And then if someone's sitting there and they see the video and they see the title and they go, oh, okay, yeah, money's tight for me right now. Christmas is coming up, for example. We don't have tons of money to spare. What can I do to make myself feel a little bit better, feel a bit healthier, have a bit more wellness in my life? I'm going to watch this video. And it's not just one, it's like continual, like one after the other, making you feel like you need to make these big purchases and they're going to make a big difference to your life. So that's what I want to talk about in this video, is some actual budget friendly ways to be a bit more healthier, to have a bit more wellness, to feel a bit better about yourself. And a lot of them are completely free. So let's dive straight in. And yeah, I will see you on the other side. Hi, my name is Meg, and you are listening to the Wellness Musings with Meg podcast. I am a fully qualified beautician and yoga teacher who has studied and worked in health and wellness since 2017. I have been obsessed with wellness my entire life and have always wanted to share my passions more. If you love health, wellness, and yoga and want to learn more, this podcast is for you. I will be bringing you all things wellness, from diet and lifestyle to beauty tips and tricks, and of course, yoga as well. So grab yourself a green tea and find a tranquil spot, and let's jump in. So I get it. Like these influencers, they need to push products to make money. And I do understand that completely, but you can't make people feel bad about themselves. I mean, I think we're all past the point now. We know a lot of influencers unintentionally can make people feel really rubbish about themselves. And they have to, like, they're in sales, they're in marketing, they have to push these products. Otherwise, they're not going to make any money themselves, especially if they're affiliated with that brand. But I think we've got to be careful here. I mean, like, I was watching one, and this is what triggered it, is I was watching a video last night and this girl was saying like, different ways, like new you, new me, free or very cheap ways to make yourself look better and feel better. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. What are they going to come out with? And it started off with like drinking water, and then in like getting enough sleep, blah blah blah, like the basics. And then it started moving on to like, it's so important that when you put your clothes on, that your jewelry matches and you have really nice jewelry, and like you've got, stacking rings, it all looks really good. What? I'm like, what? Stacking jewelry, rings, like that's not free. Okay, right. Even if you went to somewhere like Primark or TK Maxx, you're either going to buy cheap jewelry that's going to diminish in value and then you have to buy more, or you're going to have to splurge and buy expensive jewelry. And this influence is saying, like, hey, if you want to feel better about yourself and look better, you need to go out and buy jewelry. Then she started moving on to perfume. Oh, it's really important that you have a good quality perfume, like a staple one. No, no, no. That's like perfumes can be hundreds of pounds. Oh, and also to top it off, she's sitting there with a bottle of Chanel in one hand and Yves Saint Laurent in the other. So again, that person's sitting there thinking, okay, right. So we're talking hundreds of pounds on jewelry, hundreds of pounds on your perfume. Then she starts going and talking in about skincare, and how important it is to have good quality skincare. I work in a spa. I know firsthand that good quality skincare comes with a very, very hefty price tag. And then she's talking about like, oh, it just like a bag, and the list went on, and I was like, this is getting out of hand for someone who, maybe you're someone who has children and can't afford to necessarily splurge on yourself all of the time. Maybe you're really young and maybe you're in high school, maybe you don't have a job and you don't have the funds to be able to do that. Maybe you are somebody who is just living life and struggling to make ends meet. That's okay. You shouldn't be made to feel bad when you're in that situation. And you certainly shouldn't be made to feel like you need to spend money to feel better. That's, I think, where it really grated on me, is I just felt like so many people are going to watch these videos because like I said, it wasn't just one. They all kind of added up. If you're on a TikTok cycle and you're going through like one after the other, and it kind of clocks your algorithm and it changes, like you could end up with one that says all of this, and then like the next one I watched, for example, was somebody saying like cheap or free ways to make your hair better. And it started off with good intentions again. And then we started talking about different products. And again, hair care is not cheap, hair care is really expensive. And then it was like, oh, this is only like 9.99. And then they brought another one out and they were like, well, this one's only 15.99. And they kept bringing out these products, and yes, they might be like on the lower end and the lower scale, but I'm still sitting there thinking like, this is supposed to be free or extremely budget friendly. And what's more is, it wasn't just one or two products that they were recommending, it was like 10. So you times £10 by 10, that's £100. And a lot of people don't just have £100 to splurge on hair care that they've never tried, never tested. Like they just don't have that kind of funds. So here we go. Here is the lowdown on how to make yourself feel better, how to make your wellness, how to improve on your wellness and your health for free slash choices, like making better choices. And what I mean by this is, instead of going to the shops and buying fast food, or foods that are like higher in sugar, for example, and swap it out. And I get so sick and tired of people saying to me, oh, that's all well and good saying, oh, instead of buying, I don't know, like a ready meal, to buy the ingredients, but the ingredients are more expensive. But they're not always, they really are not always expensive. Because if you buy, either if you time it right in the shops when things are about to kind of expire and you get that reduced food, or freezing, like honestly, my freezer is my best friend, especially with like fruits and vegetables. Like I have frozen strawberries. I have frozen bananas even in my fridge, just because I love to have that store there. I even have frozen pumpkin because pumpkin's so good for you. And I love the fact that, yeah, like your freezer is your best friend. It really, really is. So it's really handy. Again, like I'll often go to the reduced section in the like fruit and veg section, things that are about to expire. And I'll go and buy like the blueberries and the raspberries and like literally whatever I can get my hands on and whatever can be frozen, and I'll then get it. Even ginger and chili and garlic. I've even been known to literally freeze, like buy garlic when it's about to go, crush it, pop it into like little pouches or like make little blobs with it, and then put it in a freezer bag so it's ready to go. And it makes a huge difference to what you're eating, because you're eating healthier, but also you're eating more budget friendly in that respect. So I think it, like having food that has been cooked from scratch, like trying to get things into your diet is really important. And it is a cheap way of doing it. Like I'm not going to sit here and say, unless you've got the funds, I could sit here and go, oh, you should be eating organic food and organic this, and that will make a difference to your health. I truly believe organic food is better for you, but I personally don't have the funds to feed myself like that. One day I will, that is the goal. Um, but I don't right now. But if I'm in a situation where I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know, I'm really fancy a lasagna, instead of instead of like buying a ready meal, I'll get like everything I need to make a lasagna. And often you'll have more than what you need ingredients wise. So, yes, you might be spending more that time, but with those ingredients, you could make maybe three or two or three of that dish. Again, it depends how many people you're feeding, but if you plan it right, if you work it out properly, you can work like that, and that makes a big difference. Water is another thing. Like, I truly believe you could spend thousands of pounds on skincare, on like skin devices. You could spend honestly thousands and thousands. But if you're not drinking enough water, you're not going to see any difference. Like the basic things are so important: drinking enough water, eating the correct diet, like a healthy diet, and exercising and getting like fresh air. Like those are so important for your skin, for your health. Not smoking, not drinking, trying to reduce stress in your life. So water, we are so lucky in this country that we have, well, if you're from England, that we have access to clean water. Drink it, just get it, just have it. Like, even if it means having a little bit of squash added to it. I mean, I personally really don't like squash, but it, just try and get that water into your system. It is so much better for you than Coca-Cola, than any fizzy drink. Just get that water into your system. It will really help with your wellness. It will help with your mental clarity. It will help with everything, because we are literally made up of water. It is what we are. So you need to keep that replenished up. You need to keep that hydration there. It's good for your skin. It's good for your hair. It's good for your organs. It's literally good for every single thing in your body. So get that water into your system. And that is probably the easiest and the cheapest way to level up your health. How much water? I try and aim personally for 2 liters, but everybody is different. Um, just trying to up it is a good starting point. I have so many clients and I've had so many people that have come for treatments with me, and they try so hard, like they give themselves too high of a goal, and then they end up like not being able to achieve it. So instead of thinking, right, that's it, I currently have 1 glass of water a day, if that, but I'm now going to have 2 liters every single day, you're never going to make it. And what most people find annoying is that they need to use the bathroom more because their body's not used to having that much water in their body, and then they get annoyed because they need to wee all the time. So do it slowly. If you currently have 1 glass of water a day, start with 2 for a week, see how you go, then add 3, 4. And I think it's like kind of advised to aim for around 8 glasses of water a day. But this could be fruit teas, green teas, like even smoothies. I've like made smoothies before and kind of put a little bit of water in them. Squash, they all count towards that hydration. But water is so important, and it's such an easy thing to do, and it's such a cheap thing to do. And this is another thing with these influencers which just really annoys me, is they make people feel like the hardest option is going to give you the best results, and that is complete rubbish. Because often when it comes to health and it comes to wellness, the simplest things, the cheapest things are the things that make the biggest difference. Exercise is another one, and I'm not going to sit here and say that you need an expensive gym membership. We all have access pretty much to YouTube if you've got the internet. There are literally millions of videos you can watch. I love to use like the Pilates videos. Obviously, I'm going to plug myself here and just put in that I've got some good workout videos on my channel. And I also have some very good stretching videos as well. So if anybody wants to have a little look at them, that's on my channel. But you can always exercise. And you know what? You don't even need that. Just put some shoes on and go outside for a walk. It's so easy, so simple, so easy. You do not need to do these ridiculous things. I think so many people think that they have to join a gym and they have to, they aim for these really high goals, and they go from nothing to an intense, and again they can't keep it up. So start small, enjoy your exercise as well. That is something I think is like the key to keeping up with your exercise. If you don't enjoy going to the gym, then you're never going to keep going, because you won't want to go. But if you enjoy, I don't know, a Zumba class, swimming, going out walking, having a jog, if you enjoy doing those things, you'll carry on doing them because you actually look forward to it. So that's another thing that you can do. You do not need to have an expensive gym membership. You do not need to pay for expensive classes to be healthy. It's not dependent on your wellness and your health. You don't need money to be a healthy person. You just need to make the correct choices. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think what else there is. When it comes to things like skincare, a lot of people think again that you really do need to pay for expensive products. But if you don't have that budget, just do the bare minimum. I've even like told clients to like purchase pure rose water, for example, off Amazon, which is so much cheaper than pretty much any toner you can get. And it's really good for your skin. It's especially if you've got sensitive skin or rosacea. So I'll often recommend people buy like rose water and use that as their toner. Um, like moisturizers, again, like I'll often say to people, it's important that you, like, maybe if you can't afford a day moisturizer, pop one on in the evening. Like just start with something and work your way up slowly. I think the only thing that I would say is worth spending your money on, or like important to spend your money on, is SPF. Because if you don't apply SPF, especially if you live in a hot country and you're out in the sun, the risks can be quite obviously dangerous. We all know about melanoma, we all know about skin cancer. Whereas if you don't cleanse your face every single day, you're not going to heighten your chances of giving yourself a very dangerous disease or like an issue. So pick your battles. If you're someone who doesn't have loads of money to spend, if you've got money, like if you've got some money to put towards a product, put it towards an SPF, especially if you're in a hot country or it's a hot season, because that is going to make more of a difference than washing your face. I think something that we've all missed, which is quite important, is not what we look like on the outside and how we feel on the inside. And I think influencers can be quite clever at making people feel like they need to do something different to what they need to do. So again, like when this person was saying, oh, you need to buy this jewelry, or you need, having nice jewelry always makes you feel good about yourself. Your self-worth should not be dependent on external things. And this is where yoga can be really lovely and kind of come into it. And this is one of the best things and the best pieces of advice, is to work on the mind. work on your internal and focus less on your external, because if your internal is beautiful, your external will just be beautiful because your internal is. You don't need to put as much effort into your appearance if you feel good on the inside. And if your feeling good on the inside is dependent onto your outside, you're going to be fighting a losing battle. Unless you are looking forward to looking older and you're looking forward to the aging process, and you haven't been, what's the word, kind of made to feel like aging is bad and aging doesn't look good, unless you are lucky enough to really truly look forward to getting older, you're never gonna find what you're looking for worrying about what you look like externally. um, don't get me wrong, as a beautician, I'm not going to sit there and say like treating yourself to these things like getting your nails done or putting a bit of makeup on, it will make you feel better, but you shouldn't depend on that to feel good. And this is where working on the mind is so important, and it's free. You can do it anywhere. It really is free. There is no reason why you can't meditate. There really isn't. All you need is a pocket of time. That is it. You don't need any money at all. You can meditate anywhere. You could be homeless, you can meditate. You can literally do it at any place in the entire world. All you need is to have a pocket of time, and that's it. And meditating, I find it quite interesting because it's genuinely the easiest thing to do, but nobody does it because I think it's actually the hardest thing to do, to switch your mind off from the external of what's going on around you and to focus on the moment or nothing. It's hard. It's a really difficult thing to do, but it has the biggest benefit. So if you're someone who has no money to their name, has nothing to their name, meditate, because that is the best thing you can do for your mental health, for your mental well-being, for your wellness, and for your health. If you've got absolutely nothing, it's the best place to start. Meditating, I cannot express enough how incredible it is and how good for you it is. And like I said, if you are someone who is focusing on your external and you feel like you need the clothes, the shoes, the bags, the hair to feel good, you will never feel good. Work on the mind, work on feeling good from within, being at peace, and the rest will follow 100%. Um, yeah, I think meditating is just the best thing you can possibly do. I'm trying to think of what else you can do that are extremely budget friendly, like basic hygiene. If you don't feel good, like if I'm having a day where I feel a little bit rubbish and I want to feel better, I'll have a shower, and I love that. And practicing gratitude, again, that's another thing that I'll often do, is practicing gratitude will always make you feel better. Always sit down and think of 10 things that you're grateful for, even if it is having hot water, having water to drink, having a home, having clothes to wear, having, I don't know, a body to live in, like it being able to experience the wind. If you're living somewhere that's got rubbish weather, be grateful for being able to feel that weather, the nervous system. There is literally nothing that you cannot not be grateful for. Even if you're going through a really nasty time, and we all go through horrific, horrible times, there will always be something to be grateful for. Even if it's the oxygen that you're breathing, there will always be something that you can be grateful for. And that is the key to like being able to cope and to feel better. Everybody has the ability to be able to choose their emotions and their feelings. It's almost like when you wake up in the morning and you open your wardrobe and decide what you want to wear. Everybody has the ability to choose how they react to a situation. And this is where gratitude and meditation are amazing, because they help you to be able um to react in the right way, or in a more calming way. um yeah, so gratitude is amazing, and I've managed to go back to meditation again, but I cannot express, if you're somebody who has no money and doesn't really know, wants to feel better about themselves, wants to improve their health, starting with the basics will help you. And I mean, this is why, to be honest with you, I set up my YouTube channel initially, was because I wanted everybody to be able to learn everything there is to learn about yoga. And I don't think it should necessarily come with a price tag. Um, I understand why a lot of yoga teachers do make money from it, and why they make money from it, and why they charge their students, because they have to earn a living. Like, completely understand that. But I chose a harder route, because it's more difficult to make money, obviously, through YouTube. So far I've made like £20, and that's about it, really, and I've been doing this for a whole year. But that's by the by. But I can see why they do it. But I do think it's important that every single person on this planet has access to the knowledge and the teachings that you get from yoga, because it isn't just about the physical movement. It's about your mind, your body, your spirit. It's about everything. It's about controlling your mind and your body and focusing on the moment. We are so lucky to be able to have these teachings just like at our fingertips. If you type into YouTube like a decent yoga teacher, or you find a decent yoga teacher on YouTube or Google, or even on TikTok, on Instagram, there are so many incredible teachers, and you can literally learn from them. There's podcasts. I have learned so much about yoga from like traditional yoga teachers and monks, and yeah, like people on YouTube, on Google. If you put the time and effort in to properly learn about yoga, the history, the teachings, everything, your mind in your life will be blown, and it will never be the same again, and it will be all for a good thing. And that's why I set up my channel, because not everybody has access to be able to pay, you know, £100 every month, £200 every month to go to classes and to learn how, like, the philosophy behind yoga and the asana of yoga, it's the physical movement of yoga. And I think everybody should have access to it, because it can make a huge difference to your health and well-being. The whole purpose of yoga is to be the best, healthiest person you physically can be. And the best part is that, like, you look at monks, for example, people whose whole lives are dedicated to yoga, gurus and monks, and they don't earn anything. They have nothing. They literally live from the kindness of other people. And that's huge. That's what I'm trying to bring in this podcast episode, I think, is that just if you're someone who doesn't have anything, it doesn't mean that you have nothing. You've always got the tools to have something, to have happiness, to have gratitude. You have to put the work in, and that's where people would rather spend money, because it's easier often to put money into something hoping it will make you feel better than to put the work in and working on the mind to feel better for free. So that's where I think I'm going to leave this. But yeah, don't listen to influencers. Don't feel like you need to spend money to make yourself look better. If you have the money to spend on treatments, on products, on these different things, you are incredibly blessed, and you should feel and like be grateful for that every single day. But I would still suggest trying these things for free, because if you haven't got your basics in from a beauty perspective, your water intake, a healthy diet, exercising your body, you're not going to feel good about yourself, because you're going to be neglecting your body. But also the things like the meditation and working on the mind, they're going to make a huge difference, because you're going to view yourself in a different way, and you're not going to depend on these external things anymore. Yeah. And what's funny is that yoga is like, you have your yamas and niyamas, which are looking at life and how you react with other people and with yourself. And things like ahimsa, for example, is kindness to everyone, everything. And a lot of people who practice yoga are vegetarian or vegan. And it's just these little simple things. And often people who have a vegetarian or vegan lifestyle tend to have a healthier diet, because they're not depending, not always, I'm not generalizing here, it's not always, but they often tend to be taking in more fruits and more vegetables, more legumes, because their protein has to come from things like lentils, and pulses, rather than a quick and easy like meat source. source as in like SOURCE, not sauce as in like pouring it on your pasta. Um, but yeah, so I think like the good thing about yoga when you learn it properly is that it isn't just about the movement, the asana, and it isn't just about the meditation. It's about all of it. It's about everything. And yoga is not just on the mat. It doesn't just stop on the mat. It is constant. It's about how you interact with every person, everything, every moment in your life. And that's what I absolutely love about it. And yeah, like I said, yoga is easy to do. You have to put the work in yourself, and it is important to find the right teachers to kind of encourage you and to take you on the right path. People who are learning authentic yoga and are authentic teachers who know the philosophy, who know like the history, and kind of properly, it's not all just about movement. Those are the teachers that you want to look for, because they're going to give you more than just this is this movement and this will help with stretching your hip out, for example. You're going to learn a lot more, and yeah, the knowledge will become so much more in depth and you'll get so much out of it. um yeah, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. I hope it didn't come across too ranty. um I'm not angry at these influencers. I get why they do it 100%. But it is important to remember that your self-worth is not dependent on these things. And it's really important to focus on you and yourself and your mind, and that is going to be the best thing. I always think to myself, your entire life, the only person that you have to spend all your time with is you. Even if you are lucky enough to fall in love and live with somebody and be with them, even if you meet them when you're, in your early teens and you stay with them forever, they still do not listen to every single thought in your head. You still have a break from each other at night. You still both go to work and probably don't see each other. You can be extremely close with another person, but the only person that you have to be with 24/7, every second of the day, every minute, every month, every year is you. You never ever get a break from you. So it's important that you have a good relationship with yourself, and it's important that you have a really good relationship with your mind. And this is where I think yoga, meditation, gratitude, all these tools that are free and amazing can make that difference. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did want me to give you guys some information on like some of my favorite teachers of yoga, or like YouTubers that I follow there, for example, Pilates, I do a lot of Pilates workouts that are off YouTube. If you want me to send you or, recommend anybody, pop it in the comments, and yeah, I can give you their um, little handles or whatever they're called, their names, and you can find them, and hopefully, yeah, it will help you to feel better about yourself. But have fun, enjoy working on yourself, working on your wellness, and yeah, enjoy saving some money and not spending it on things that you don't necessarily need to spend it on. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I can't wait to share. I'm hoping my next podcast episode is going to be a really exciting and really good one. I'm just waiting for something to come through. I can't say any more or I'm going to give it away, but I'm basically waiting on something, and I can't do this episode until that gets here. So it will either be next week or it will be the week after, but as soon as I can drop the episode that is secret and no one knows about and is very exciting, as soon as I can do that, I will let you guys know. But thank you so much for listening, and have an amazing rest of the day, and I will speak to you soon. Thanks. Bye.